Hey everybody, welcome back to Some Guys Movie Reviews. I know it's been a bit. I took a little bit of a break because of the holidays and just illnesses, and so it was very busy. To start, I'm going to be changing my rating scale this year. It's going to be somewhat different. In the past, I did 1 to 10. This year, it's going to be 3 ratings. It's going to be either loved it, liked it, or didn't like it. I think this is overall better because it really speaks to my enjoyment of a film, and it's not me telling anyone that a movie is like a bad or a 4. It's really just speaking to my opinion. So I'm happy about this rating scale change. In this video, I'll be covering movies that I did not review from November and December of last year. The first movie up is Napoleon, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Joaquin Phoenix, and I have to say, I loved this movie. I think that this movie was such a joy and spectacle to watch on the big screen. I honestly couldn't believe that I was watching a movie like that in 2023. It was just amazing to me. I know the movie has some problems with its story and its narrative structure, but honestly, that didn't really bother me. I still loved the experience I had with the film, and I can't wait to watch the 4-hour cut whenever that comes out. Next up is Silent Night, directed by John Woo, starring Joel Kinnaman. He does a good job in this movie. However, I didn't like this movie that much. I found the no dialogue to be contrived, as it is in almost every movie that's doing this type of thing nowadays. And the action just wasn't up to par with some of the other action movies that we've gotten over the years. You know, I'm thinking of like John Wick and Mad Max and Mission Impossible. You know, these movies have really elevated action to another level, and it's been a long time since we've seen John Woo do these types of movies. So it was nice to see him come back into Hollywood, but I do feel like it was kind of lacking in the action, so it didn't really work for me. Ferrari, starring Adam Driver, directed by Michael Mann. I was really excited for this film. Michael Mann is one of my favorite directors. Collateral is one of my favorite movies of all time, so I was really excited. And you know what? When I watched this movie, I didn't really like it that much. However, it's really grown on me. I'm not going to say that I loved it, but I do like it. I think it's a good movie, and I think Adam Driver does a great job in the role. Penelope Cruz is fantastic in it, and I do appreciate kind of this more simple story, how it takes place over a summer and tells the story of his life and the company at the time. I think it's a good movie. I liked it. Saltburn, I loved. I think this movie is fantastic. I loved the cinematography. I thought the acting was great, and I really liked the central premise, even if it is somewhat familiar from other films that we've gotten here in recent years. But that didn't bother me. I had a blast watching this movie. It is a little graphic in some parts, but honestly, that didn't really bother me, and I think the whole conversation around it was blown out of proportion. The Holdovers, starring Paul Giamatti, and I have to say, this movie really surprised me. I saw the trailers and I thought they looked terrible, but then I watched this movie and I had a good time. It was really fun. It was heartwarming. I think Paul Giamatti delivers a great performance. I think the cast in general is really good. So overall, I liked this movie. May December, which is on Netflix, starring Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore. A little hard to get through given the source material like of what's going on, but I do think the third act, the revelation of everything, where the movie picks up for me. The first 2 acts I was kind of not into the movie, but I did end up liking this movie. Leave the World Behind, also on Netflix. This movie has gotten a lot of buzz and stuff on the internet. Whatever, I don't care about that. I thought it was a good time. I liked it. I think the performances are really good. I thought the premise was very interesting. I do think that the movie, maybe it was a little too long, could have been shortened, and I think that would have helped the pacing, but I did really like the movie, so I liked it. Rebel Moon, another Netflix movie, and I have to say, I liked this movie. It's not a great movie, but like, I had fun with it. I thought the action was well done. I liked some of the characters. I'm interested to watch the sequel when it comes out earlier this year, and I like Zack Snyder. I think he's a good director. I think he has a cool vision. His visual style is really impressive, and so I liked this movie. I know people hate it, but whatever. Iron Claw, starring Zac Efron. This was the biggest surprise maybe of the year for me. I don't know. There's a lot of surprises. It's been a great year for movies, but I have to say he was outstanding in this movie. I didn't know anything about the Von Erich wrestling family, but man, this story was tragic and I had a great time. I loved this movie. I think it's well worth your time. Definitely check it out. On to Aquaman 2. Honestly, I didn't like this movie. I thought that it was so silly. The action was not as good as the first one, and the characters were kind of laughable in their dialogue. It didn't work for me. I wouldn't recommend it. Last movie I'm going to discuss here is Wonka. I had a good time with this movie. I liked it. I think Timothée Chalamet did a good job. And to be honest, I liked every version of this. I liked the very first one, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I liked the Johnny Depp one, and I also like this one. I think they all bring something different to the table, and so I really appreciated that. I had a fun time. Those are all the movies that I had to play catch up on. My next video will be my top 10 movies of last year. When I do that video, I will only have my number 1 movie ranked. My 2 through 10 will just be in alphabetical order. I'm not going to worry about saying which one is better. It just makes more sense to me. So be on the lookout for that video. Let me know what you thought of any of these movies in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.